Look at this. 49% of Democrat voters are saying they want Kamala Harris to be the leading voice for the Democrat Party. And only 36% said someone new. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. Let's get into it, because it appears that the Democrat Party has learned nothing. Yeah, that's right. Despite suffering a complete embarrassment not even a month ago, the Democrat Party is not just not learning their lesson, it appears that at least their voters, they are doubling down. Look at this poll from Echelon Insights, just of Democratic voters, not independents, not the general electorate, no. These are just Democrat voters. Thinking ahead to the next 4 years, would you like to see Kamala Harris continue to be the leading voice for Democrats? Or do you think it's time for someone new to fill that role? Now, you would think after what happened a month ago, the Democrat Party would be saying, yeah, I think it's time for a change because we lost a popular vote, and not just by 0.1%. No, we lost a popular vote by 1.5% or 2.2 million votes. We lost the Electoral College easily. We did awful in places like California, New York. Hell, New Jersey was within 6 points. It was a complete embarrassment. So you would think, okay, with how bad of a campaign Harris really ran and the fact that she did this bad, you would think Democrats would be saying, yes, please, get rid of Harris. No. In fact, it's the opposite. Look at this. 49% of Democrat voters are saying they want Kamala Harris to be the leading voice for the Democrat Party. And only 36% said someone new. Yeah, this is a real poll from Echelon Insights. In other words, the Democrat Party, at least their voters, they want Harris again. You cannot make this up. I mean, I really thought the Democrats, they would have learned their lesson as to, hey, maybe you don't run Harris. Maybe this was a bad idea. And maybe it was not a good idea to, bullshit your voters into thinking, oh, Harris is actually a very strong candidate. She's very electable. She can beat the orange man, because now it really looks like the majority of Democrats, or at least a plurality, but let's be honest, it's 49%. With 15% unsure, I guarantee you a majority of voters in this poll, at least for Democrats, they would say Kamala Harris. But the problem for Dems is they gaslit their voters so much into thinking that, hey, Kamala Harris is very electable, she is beloved. They did it so much that it seems like they actually convinced their voters that Kamala Harris is a strong candidate, and that 2024 was just a fluke. I mean, think about that. That's what it looks like here. It looks like Democrats gaslit their voters so much that now they actually believe Harris is this electoral juggernaut. She can win in a landslide. And they want to double down on Harris and not go for someone like, I don't know, Josh Shapiro in 2028. I mean, how else would you explain this? This is just a bunch of delusional Democrats that really bought into the BS. And they think, well, we lost in 2024 because of racism, sexism, and all that, but 2028, oh, give Harris more time and she will run a much better campaign. Really? That's your plan? You're gonna rerun Kamala Harris in 4 years? When you could argue that in 2028, it might be an even bigger Republican electorate than it was in 2024? Especially if Trump's presidency is popular, if Vance is well-liked, and people realize, oh wait, Harris is much more incompetent than we originally thought. Because people just seemingly forget that Harris's campaign only lasted like 4 to 5 months. And despite it only lasting 4 to 5 months, her campaign was so bad in just 4 to 5 months that people began to realize, hey, wait a minute, Harris is incompetent. Like, I knew she was a bad vice president, but my goodness, she doesn't care about the issues. She has no clue what she's talking about. It's a joke. And, well, we're not going to vote for her. That's exactly what happened in 2024, and even in 2020. People just magically forget that for a little bit there, Harris was surging. Everyone thought, oh my goodness, this is the next Obama. But then people began to realize, oh, wait a minute. The more we hear her speak, the less we like her. That's what happened in 2020, what happened in 2024, and the same thing would occur in 2028. The more people listen to Harris, the more likely they are to say, we're not voting for this. She has no clue what she's talking about. She's useless. She's an idiot. Get rid of her. So that's why I've argued that if she had a full-blown campaign, not for 2 to 3 months, but like a full year, I actually believe that her campaign would have done worse. Because more people would have listened to her and they would realize quicker, oh wait, she's utterly incompetent. She has no clue what she's doing. So if Democrats really want to run Harris in 2028, go right ahead. Because I would argue it's a even bigger disaster waiting to happen than what happened in 24. Because in 2028, Vance will be the nominee. He's already more likely than Trump has ever been. And Donald Trump's presidency, more than likely, is not going to be hated. Like, I'm not saying Democrats are going to love it, but I really believe if Trump does what he says he's going to do, it should be a very popular administration because guess what? The vast majority of his agenda is supported by the majority of people. I mean, the majority of people, they support the MAGA agenda, the Agenda 47. They support that stuff. And if Trump does what he says he's going to do, he should be popular, therefore giving Vance an even bigger advantage in 2028. So this could end in a complete disaster for Dems. If they really run Harris again in 2028, it could be an even bigger disaster than 24 was. You're talking about states like New Jersey, Minnesota, New Mexico, Virginia, possibly flipping. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen, but if Harris runs again, and it seems like she might. I mean, the fact that these polls have her basically at a majority of Democrats wanting her to be the new Obama is not only hilarious, but if you're a Democrat operative, if you have a brain, you should realize this is a freaking disaster. Like, we can't run Harris again after what happened in 2024. Why the hell would you run Harris again unless you want to throw 2028? Unless you realize there's no pathway in 2028, we can't win. So you know what? Let's not ruin a good candidate like Josh Shapiro. You know what? Give Harris a second try. You know, let her be the nominee for a second time and see what happens. And more than likely, she would get obliterated in that race. It would not be pretty whatsoever. It would be a blowout. And Vance would win states more than likely like Minnesota, New Mexico, if it gets that bad, which I'm not saying it's for sure going to, but with the way things are trending, I would not be surprised. Now, will Harris actually run in 2028? I don't know for sure, but I find it hilarious that it's not just this one poll, but she has led every single poll post-election from Emerson College, Echelon Insights, Morning Consult, and yeah, she's in the low 40s, high 30s, but she's the clear frontrunner, and I know you could argue that's because of name recognition, because the presidential election was only a couple weeks ago, so it could inflate her margins a little bit, but the fact is, if Harris runs, more than likely she would be the frontrunner for 2024, or 2028, I should say. And as for other people potentially going to run, I mean, there's what? Maybe one good option for Dems here in Josh Shapiro? I mean, he's the best realistic option, and more than likely, he can't win a primary. So, who do you think could really beat Harris? Maybe Gavin Newsom? Maybe, I guess, I don't know. Honestly, it's outside of Gavin Newsom, I can't think of anyone else. Gavin Newsom's the only one I could really see potentially beating Harris in a primary. But even then, if that happens, well, the Democrat Party would be fractured, and more than likely you would have other people like Buttigieg, Shapiro running anyways. So you would have a shit show or primary either way, while the Republican Party, more than likely, they get behind J.D. Vance right off the bat. I mean, this could get ugly for Dems real quick, but it does seem like right now, Harris is a set floor. It seems like she's gonna get like 40% of the vote no matter what happens as of now. Could that change? Of course. We're only in what? 2024 still? It's not even 2025 yet, so a lot could change, but it really seems like the Democrat Party has not learned a damn thing. It looks like they're actually tripling down on this BS. I just don't get it. Are Democrats that delusional? Have they actually bought into hype that much? It does seem like it. They actually bought into Harris hype so much that they really believe that if you run her in 2028, she can win. But anyone that has a brain would tell you, yeah, no. If Harris is the nominee in 2028, they would get embarrassed. I mean, do you think you can look at this map and say, oh, there's some positives here. Oh, she got 75 million votes. Okay, Trump got 77 million votes. She lost a popular vote by 1.5. She did awful everywhere, not just one or two states. She did worse in every single state. So how can you look at this and say we should run Harris in 2028 unless you actually bought into the hype? Which, if that's what's happening here, which it does seem like, I mean, funny enough, the group that supports Harris the most among Democrats are young Democrats. These are the people that more than likely, they're the ones that bought into the hype on Twitter and TikTok. They're the ones that actually bought into the idea that, oh, she's going to win because of TikTok, or she's going to win because of, I don't know, Instagram, or some crap like that. That's who these people are, which makes a lot of sense. So if you're the Democrat Party, you have to be kind of scared about this, that a large chunk of Democrat voters, they bought into the hype so much, they actually want Harris unironically, not just, oh, she's the better of two options. No, she actually has support within the party now. Even though every other demographic outside of Democrats hate her guts, thinks she's incompetent, thinks she should not be anywhere near the White House, the Democrat Party, they actually support Harris over anyone else. Which, if that's what happens in 2028, that's going to get ugly for Dems real quick. I have no clue why people are thinking this is a good idea, but there's actually a bunch of people looking at this poll and saying, this is proof that we should run Harris in 2028. Unironically, people are actually saying it. It's not just, one person. There's a bunch of people saying the same stuff. Run Harris in 2028. She can win in a landslide. 2024 was a fluke. She's the strongest candidate. No, she's not. Of these candidates listed here, Andy Beshear, Roy Cooper, Harris, Moore, Newsom, etc., I guess she could be slightly better than, I don't know, AOC, I guess? Maybe? Like, congratulations, you might be slightly stronger than that. But she's probably weaker than the majority of people on this list. And if she runs again in 2028, she's not going to magically do better. More than likely, she does even worse in 2028 compared to 2024. So, Democrats, if you're listening, if you have a brain, you would not nominate Harris. But if you're a Republican listening, and, I have a bias here, yeah, go ahead and nominate Harris in 2028. Go ahead. Just have a shit show or primary where she barely gets 48% of the vote, but it's just enough to win the nomination. Go ahead. I'll support that. Yeah, I support that. Hey, go ahead. Run that and get obliterated against J.D. Vance in 2028. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts, the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.